Bill, I am so honored to be here with you today to talk about a movement. I consider the movement and the passion that you deliver your message from is incredible. Talk to us about Dark Girls and Light Girls. What is it that motivated you to become a messenger about this across the nation and the world?
I was frustrated and upset with the beauty business continuing to say that God made a mistake. The way you're born is not good enough, and you must look a certain way for us to accept you. And I wanted to give young people an understanding that God does not make mistakes. How you were born is fine, and do not drink the Kool-Aid.
Wow. You've written this in a book that we want to talk about. Might want to get a copy and show the audience in just a moment.
Okay.
Yes. Which is an incredible book. We want to recommend that you get it, go online and order it because it is a magnificent and I think a must-read. How essential is it for every African-American parent to put this book in the hands of their children, to make it a bedtime story, to talk about it around the dinner table?
I think it's imperative. I mean, not only this book, but other books like it that let our children know they have value, that the bullying and name calling of their skin color, etc., is irrelevant to their self-worth. And as long as parents are reinforcing with books like this and messages from the Bible that God has given us about their worth and how valuable they are every day, it's a lot of responsibility. But without that support, there's a lot of pain that's going to occur.
The piece that you deal with quite a bit is the inferiority complex that we seem to have.
Yes.
Innately and because of the reinforcements in popular culture and media. Of course, you and I in the same club now.
Same club.
But there was a time when I thought I had to have an afro, and there was a time when I thought I had to have straighter hair. So the hot comb
Me
and
too.
And the blowout kit,
the grease
and the relaxer and all of that, and the fact that I'm not a high, brighter skin tone. Even when I was a kid, and when you were kids, this was a problem even for black males, being accepted by black females who thought that we may not have passed the good-looking test.
That's right.
How prevalent is that even today?
I think that darker men, due to the Idris Elbas of the world and the Sam Jacksons of the world and other people, that dark is becoming more acceptable. But within our own culture still, there are issues. And my hope is that efforts like this, what you do from the pulpit, what this great lady is doing with her school, I mean, it takes a village. It really, really does. And the thing is, no one's coming to save us. We must make the effort. We must take up the challenge. And because our children's lives are at stake.
Absolutely.
Their self-worth is at stake. So we have to do something.
And you mentioned the school here at Imani School where we met today, a fabulous school. Ms. Pat Williams is leading a mission and a movement here within itself. Around the nation, however, public schools, in fact, my kids, before they came here, were in schools that were majority Anglo. This program would never have taken place, and I witnessed my kids being subjected to the nuances of preferential treatment for others. How important is it that we deal with this, since most of our children would never be in a school like Imani?
I think it is an urgent, immediate emergency. I think the problems that we face don't bother me. What bothers me is our lack of attention to those issues, as though somehow they're going to evaporate, or somebody's going to come and save us, or I'm not quite. It's like an entitlement kind of consciousness that is unrealistic.
Sure.
And seeing people like yourself and Ms. Williams and people like that, it's encouraging to me, because in media it's a lonely journey. Not everybody celebrates my movies because they feel they're too controversial. Why am I bringing up the dirty laundry? Why don't I make a film that makes people laugh more? I do it because I care and I think it can make a difference. And people like yourselves encourage me to keep going.
Yes. The state of emergency that you talked about is something that we've dealt with quite a bit too. It seems that we're dancing while drowning, like many people on the Titanic did. They're partying while perishing, not understanding the significance and the seriousness of our plight. So I want to thank you for bringing that awareness to us.
Thank you.
And hopefully you will get this message out through the Black church.
I'm trying my best.
That should be a primary vehicle and vessel for us. But even the Black church seems to be, in so many instances, more Eurocentric in our message, even though we're in African American garmentry. How do we begin to penetrate that from your perspective?
Again, I think we really have to chisel down on our self-worth.
Wow.
You know, if historically speaking, Jesus was the original alchemist. Jesus took water
Yes.
and turned it into wine. But poor people, particularly black people of this earth, are alchemists.
Yes.
We took bones and turned them into spare ribs.
Absolutely.
We took guts and turned them into chitlins.
Yes.
They gave us nothing. We turned it in, during segregation, we had our own banks, our own schools, everything, because we have the science of alchemy.
Yes.
Somehow, we've lost an understanding that we're alchemists. And until we regain that self-regard, that wisdom and knowledge that we have the ability not only to change ourselves, but great inventions of this world that we're not giving us recognition for, were created by us.
Yes. Yes.
And so I hope there's a resurgence, a revolutionary type of recognition of who we are. And also, how can I say this? Black Lives Matter. I understand that movement. But until that message is brought to our community,
Yes.
it's not the same thing.
It's not the same thing. Yeah.
And I understand the protests with Congress and senators and so on, but in the final analysis, they ain't going to save us. What we're going to have to do is save ourselves.
Yes. Finally, the late Reverend Dr. E.B. Hill, who pastored in Los Angeles
Yes.
for years, made a statement at a banquet he spoke at here some years ago. He said, as he approached his dying hour, my greatest fear dying now is I'm dying with an unanswered question. And that is, will African Americans ever become a people again?
Why do we continue to look outside of ourselves for salvation?
Yes.
Are we ever going to become a people again, a nation again, a community again, a community of mutual respect, of mutual salvation, caring? You know, there are certain communities in this nation that you cannot go into and touch a child or one of their women.
Not at all.
Do you know the consequences that if you go into that community, if you bring drugs into that community, if you touch one of their children and try to turn them out as a prostitute, you know what happened to you?
Instant.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But you can come into our community, and we do it to ourselves also, drug our children, rape our women and our children, and there is no consequence. We're giving instructions. And so to answer that question, when we change our minds, we change our consciousness, we change our sense of our self-worth. Until that happens, we can talk it, but to make a difference like she's making takes action. And action is an urgent one. We need to do it like when 82 young people kill each other in one weekend, man, I don't know.
And we have not yet responded like it's an emergency.
No, sir. It's we're very busy buying phones and sneakers and clothing, and I don't know. It's I'm not sure what it's going to take, but I know for me, I'm taking it as an emergency now and doing the best I can.
You've just listened to an interview with the author, film writer, producer, and director, philanthropist, a man on a mission with a message that the nation and the world must hear. Thank you, Mr. Bill Dukes, for all you do.
God bless you, my brother.
God bless you.
Thank you for your hard work, and I appreciate you.
Thank you. This is from dmars.com.